IVM.
Out here on the Geek Fruit podcast, we spend a lot of time talking about superheroes, pop culture, who would win in a fight, that kind of thing. But there's a couple of things in life that are slightly more important, like economics and politics. They only determine the course of the entire earth. So if you want to know more about economics and politics, or are interested in them already and want to hear some experts talking about it, you should be checking out the Pragati podcast with hosts Pawan and Hamsini. Hello and welcome to the Geek Fruit podcast, you nerds. My name is Dinkar. With me, I have my dear friend Jishnu. How are you, Jishnu?
Hello, I'm well.
What's been happening in your life?
There's a new album.
A new album by Hue2.
By Hue2.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
It's our favorite band. So, Songs of Experience, it's called. The follow-up to 2 years ago?
3 years ago.
3 years ago,
Yeah.
Songs of Innocence. Give me your initial impressions. What do you think of it so far? By the way, in case you're confused about why we're talking about U2 on a science fiction
Because
podcast.
we can. What's there to clarify?
Yeah, and we talk about dinosaurs all the time. So, sorry. U2 is my favorite band.
Likewise.
But still, you can't deny they're dinosaurs. And dinosaurs are cool.
Yeah.
And awesome. The last of the dinosaurs.
Did you see the Jurassic World Part 2 trailers?
Yeah,
Teasers of the trailers?
all 16 seconds of it, yes.
Do you see the other 16?
There's another 16?
Apparently.
No, there are two. There's one which is like 6 seconds and one which is 16 seconds. I have seen both, yes. It took me some time.
Is that a teaser for the teaser?
I binge watched both of them. I watched the first one and I was like, screw it, man, I'm doing this. And I watched the next one straight away. Binge the whole thing.
So this
in
album's
about
pretty
30
good.
seconds.
I like it. I'm a fan. Are you a fan?
I am a super fan. I'm really liking it.
Super fan.
Well, no,
Were you a super fan of the previous one?
I enjoyed
I know that you
it.
liked it more than I did.
I liked it more than you did, I think. I wasn't a super fan for sure. This one, I'm leaning towards super fan because I enjoy it. I think
growing
it's
on
odd.
me more and more.
Yeah, I feel like it's a grower. I've heard
Yeah.
it like a couple of times straight through, and I'm liking it. I feel like it sticks together as an album better than the previous one for sure. It's still, I think my standards are lower as well. It's not my favorite by a long shot.
No. Yeah.
But it's not bad. It's better than I was expecting. Is what I'll say.
The trend is that both albums I like the most from songs 4 to 8.
Really?
I feel like they keep the best parts, like the favorite, like the punkier, older war/boy stuff.
That is
isn't
true.
right in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's my sweet spot. For just the general U2 sound. And every time I go like, why is this buried in the middle? Like, these are such good songs.
I
Why
think
are they
that,
buried in the middle?
you're right. That has been the vibe though. It was the same thing last time.
Yeah, like Volcano, Raised by Wolves, all that stuff is right in the middle.
Volcano, which they took the bridge and turned that into another song?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Which song is it now?
It is now American Soul.
There you go. Also,
Which,
kind of...
By the way, the one thing I hate about this record is the
Yeah.
lyrics.
Seriously.
Oh my god. It's Bono at his Bonoiest.
Hey, I sense a segue coming.
Okay.
How is this relevant to what we're talking about today?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Well, draw the line for me.
We've talked about this extensively.
Oh, who would win in a fight?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay, cool. Yes, it is relevant because among the cringiest lines in this U2 album is one part where Bono says, the slaves are looking for someone to lead them.
Mm-hmm.
And Lincoln's ghost said, and then it kicks into the chorus. It's a song called Get Out of Your Own Way.
Followed by... Ooh.
Oh, yeah, of course. The
Which
ghost.
is basically Lincoln's ghost saying, get out of your own way. Ooh.
And Lincoln's ghost is, of course, played by Daniel Day-Lewis, who
well done.
has since retired from acting. But he came back for this one role
As a ghost.
as a ghost.
So you don't actually know if he came back.
Yeah.
Like, as in the actor came back. Or if he just died and now his ghost.
That's true.
Because
I
you
feel
don't know
like-
what he does, right?
I feel like Daniel Day, since we're talking about ghosts and Daniel Day-Lewis, I feel like if Daniel Day-Lewis had to play a ghost, he's so method he'd kill himself.
Yeah, I could see
And
that.
then, live as a ghost the entire time.
I could see that. Just to
Also-
get that in memoriam Oscar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's got everything. Like, just gotta add something to the collection.
He's legit retired now, you know that, no?
Is it legit?
This
I'm
is his
waiting-
last movie. He said he's just too,
Wait, what is this last movie?
something that's coming out right now.
Oh, yeah?
I think with Paul Thomas Anderson. I'm not sure.
Oh.
But
Well, there you
he's
go.
just like, I'm sick of it, man. It takes too much out of me to do this. So
Yeah.
This is the last one I'm doing.
So what's he gonna do? Like when he retires and just like
I don't know. Be a farmer.
he should be a social media slut.
Perhaps he will drink people's milkshakes.
He should just go ham and like just be clickbait all over the place for nothing.
I think he should just live as different people. Do you know, when he was doing Gangs of New York, he trained as a butcher because he had to play Bill the Butcher, who in the movie is not a butcher. But his backstory was that he was a butcher at one point.
No, he is a butcher.
He's a butcher, but he's not actively a butcher. Like, you don't see him every day chopping up the meats and whatnot.
He only does it conveniently right before and right after a fight scene
Correct.
to intimidate
there's
people.
like 2 scenes
where
it happens.
He's like, here's a pig. Watch me kill it.
Exactly.
It's already dead, but watch me like kill it again.
That's my point. It's not like the butchering was an active part of his role.
Right.
And yet he trained as a butcher for months, so much so that the guy said, "Here, listen, I'm offering you a job." Because I think the butcher he was apprenticing with didn't know it was Daniel Day-Lewis. He's like, "You're one of the best I've seen, man. Do you want to join?" And apparently he was like, "Nah, I got to go make a movie with Martin Scorsese." So
One of my favorites.
Yeah, Gangs of New York?
One of my favorites.
I love that
also,
movie.
great U2 songs.
That's true.
In it. 2 songs, right? Or just the one?
That's the one.
Just
the
Hands
credits
Above
one.
America.
Yeah.
That's such a good song.
Did they? No, they didn't win an Oscar for it.
No. Was it nominated?
Yeah,
the song was
it
nominated?
was nominated.
Oh, cool.
And Bono does a pseudo Pavarotti bridge in that one.
Very well.
Pretty well, yeah.
Quite
It
well.
was impressive. Anyway,
So,
what do you think of
U2 and
refugees?
Look, we can do this because it's been 100 friggin' episodes, right? Okay, like I think we're owed some R&R.
Yeah.
And by R&R, I mean like
Hey,
we should just like not do
I
the show
think
today.
this
and
is
just,
what
like,
people
hang
listen
out.
for. You turn on an episode of Geek Fruit, you're like, hey, what did the guys think of the new U2 record?
The new 2.
The new 2. Spoiler alert, we liked it. Anyway, speaking of spoiler alerts, today we're deciding to, we have decided to talk about ghosts. It's a odd topic for us, is it not?
You would think that we just called each other up last night and said, what do you want to talk about? And then you would think that I just said yes before you finished
Before I
your
completed
sentence.
the word.
Yeah,
I was like, why don't we talk about... And you were like, yeah, cool, I'll see you. And you cut the phone.
pretty much.
Yeah, it was... and then I continued talking for the next 3 minutes.
So here's the thing. We did an episode not too long ago, a couple months ago, about sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
And that entailed... I think that was right when Stranger Things was just about coming out. So we talked about that stuff. Alien Covenant had, again, just come out or was about to. So Tejas and I did a couple of maybe 4 or 5 movies that we talked about that we like. And I definitely recall saying that I'm a wuss and I don't really watch horror all that much. So note that my ghosts that I will be bringing up today are not strictly in the most horror-y of spaces.
They're not scary ghosts.
No, I mean, they can be if you're like...
If you're a wuss.
If you're like 5 years old.
Yeah.
No,
I get it.
But yeah, I like ghosts.
But I think
ghosts
that's
are
the deal
cool.
with ghosts in general, right? They've become less scary over time, probably because it's the hokiest of horror traditions. And, like it's the kind of thing you make fun of with, like you put a blanket and cut eye holes in it. You're a ghost. That's the...
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, ghosts are cute now. The Snapchat logo is a ghost.
Why is that? Why is it a ghost?
I think it's because, my theory is it's because the messages used to disappear like a ghost. Is this not true? I've just invented Snapchat story. Who is, by the way, now called Snap. They're called Snap. Wait, hold on. Jishnu, hold on. I can hear a ghost in the studio. Hold on. No, that's it's a very... It's a ghost that can't carry a tune, apparently.
If anybody gives a damn about YouTube, please let us know.
Yeah,
because
please.
I would love an opportunity to indulge in this more.
We are the only people in this country, I think, who give a damn about YouTube.
Yeah, I could genuinely do 100 episodes just talking about
I know
the band, and I wouldn't be even halfway through the discography.
I feel like let's do a spin-off podcast, Jishnu. I think it's time.
Is this an episode of the YouTube podcast?
I think we need a YouTube podcast for India. And, we're the only two who listen to it. But
hey, Naveen is in the room. Naveen, can we have an IVM YouTube podcast?
I think Naveen checked out long ago. It's like they're talking about YouTube. I don't know what my job is here anymore.
But will the podcast be with or without you?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, our first guest is Naveen.
I will take it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I'll take anything you can throw at me.
Let's
What?
talk about ghosts. like I was saying, ghosts have become less scary. Now they're like, there's ghosts you fall in love with, there's inspirational ghosts, there's funny ghosts. Ghosts are
What ghost do you fall in love with?
the Patrick Swayze one.
That, okay.
Yeah.
That was like a while ago. I thought you meant like now.
Or the scary movie one, wasn't that a thing?
Which one?
I don't know. There's like
How
some
many
50
are there?
of them. I've never seen a single one of them. you know?
Really?
No. I've
Wow.
only...
I saw.
I'll tell you how I
saw
know
first.
the plot to, like, I know most of the beats of all the scary movies because everyone else would watch them and I thought they were ridiculously stupid even when I was like 12 or 13. But everyone in my school
was-
bus would talk about them all the time.
That was the point, right?
Yeah, but like, not stupid in an entertaining way.
No. Okay, I'll put it this way. I've definitely seen the first two, maybe three, maybe four, but definitely one and two.
I'm
And
surprised there are 4.
there are way more than 4.
Okay.
But my strongest memory of the scary movies was seeing it hand in hand with like American Pie, like at age 11 through 14 or whatever. Like I remember hanging out with a bunch of friends and just deciding, do you want to watch like, poop joke movie American Pie, or do you want to watch like flying floating poop in ghost form in Scary Movie?
Did that actually happen in Scary Movie?
Hell if I know, probably, maybe.
I mean, that's the thing. That could actually be a scene from Scary Movie.
Sure.
That's how stupid it was.
Well, I mean, speaking of flying poop, there is the Emoji Movie. Did you see that?
No.
Patrick Stewart as poop
Does
emoji.
he fly in it?
I'm sure at some point the shit hits
Yeah,
the fan.
probably. Okay, cool.
See what I did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So ghosts are a thing.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Give me a general opinion of ghosts in movies. Or ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts, Jishnu?
Do I believe?
Yeah. In life after love or ghosts?
This is the most intense question that has ever been asked on the Geek Fruit
Which,
podcast.
the life after love one? Because that's a tough one.
Do I believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
For argument's
Have
sake,
you ever had a ghostly experience?
Have I? The creepiest thing that ever happened. Okay, yeah, I'll tell you the creepiest moment that I immediately realized was really stupid, but in the moment was super creepy. Age 10-ish, lying in bed late at night, the bedroom door is slightly ajar, but it's still a door. And I see what looks like the silhouette of a shadowy dude holding a knife in his hand up to his face, and then with his finger slowly like stroking the knife.
What?
And just sitting there, like watching me and stroking this knife. And I was just like, what in the... And I'm sitting there like squirming in my PJs.
Okay.
I felt like an eternity. And then I was like, is anybody there? Pretty much verbatim.
Yeah.
And then I was like, shit, maybe he can't hear me because I'm being too quiet. So I was like,
Excuse
I'm trying to be
me, sir.
polite.
I said.
I'm trying to be polite. Look,
Right.
I don't want to get on his wrong side. The guy could kill me at any moment. I want to befriend this guy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, mister. Something like that. And then...
Were you Mickey Mouse as a child?
I wish I was. And then this goes on for like 5 minutes. The guy doesn't move. He's just sitting there. And I was like, what the hell? And then my dad or somebody, I think it was my dad, down the hallway, turns some light on in some other part of the house. And then I can see it's just like a leaf from this giant plant that's by the door. And I was like, oh, that was silly.
Hold on. So the twist is the leaf was holding a knife?
The twist is there was no ghost.
Yeah, it was a plant.
It was a
okay,
plant.
I see. I have a similar experience.
But that's like the only scary thing that's legitimately ever happened to me, and that was stupid, right?
But I was a terrified kid as well. Like, I was very scared of the dark and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm still very jumpy. Like, I will
Yeah,
be...
I'm very jumpy.
Yeah, like, I mean, if anybody just, like, taps me on the shoulder and I'm, like,
Right.
reading something or something.
Absolutely.
I'm just like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah.
So, when I was a kid once, my grandparents were visiting at the time. And I slept very late, like every day. So the house was usually entirely still. So around like 3 in the morning, I'm like, gonna stretch my legs, go out for a walk. So not outside, but I leave my room and I go into the hall, which is like some distance away. You go through a passage, then you enter the hall. So I enter the hall and there's like one creepy, shadowy figure just like sitting there in the dark.
How old are you again?
I must be older than I'm proud to admit, shall we say. That's probably 13 or 14.
Okay.
Yeah. So I walk in and the creepy figure's there. and slowly it stands up and takes a step towards me. And at this point, I scream bloody murder, and then the distance from the hall to my room through the passage is probably about 15 meters. I covered it in 3 steps because I jumped. I was like, ah, ah, ah. And I'm in my room. I jump into my bed and I throw the blanket over myself because obviously that'll protect you from ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Now the thing is, about halfway through this run, I realized, wait a second, that wasn't a ghost. That's my grandmom.
Oh my God.
But at this point, I'm in it. I'm like, all right, I'm going to let momentum carry me forward.
Oh my God.
I can't abandon the screaming and running halfway through. So I just carry on. And then I'm in bed. And I'm like, well, that was weird. Then there's absolute silence for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I hear a slow knock and the door opening. And my grandmom's like, Dinkar, that was me. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Good night then.
Well, wait, what was she doing just sitting in the dark?
She had trouble sleeping, so she was just sitting up.
Hanging out.
I suppose so.
Oh my God.
Anyway, we were supposed to talk about ghosts in movies, but I feel like we've covered some far more important ground. We've gotten to know each other.
So now that you have a frame of reference for who we are as people,
yeah. You've
learned nothing.
Yeah. No,
Great.
They've learned that ghosts don't exist. There are only leaves and grandmoms. No such thing as ghosts.
So, grandmom is very relevant to what I have to say for the remaining 40 minutes.
All right, cool. We will come back and I promise you we will talk about ghosts in movies. Hopefully. I'm making no promises.
Hi, I'm Amit Verma, the host of the weekly podcast The Seen and the Unseen. In my show, I examine the seen effects and the unintended consequences of public policy and private action. I show how policies meant to help the poor often end up hurting the poor. I've done episodes so far on demonetization, GST, surgical strikes, immigration and MRP. And I will continue my forensic assault on the truth in the weeks to come.
Catch the show every Monday on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you prefer. Or visit seenunseen.in for all the latest updates.
We are back from the break.
Yes, and we're talking ghosts in movies. I promise, Jishnu. Don't make me let them down.
We were on a break.
The classic Ross bit, of course.
Break. So,
yes.
I really think that the way that this album opens up, that opening song, is it's a very new thing for them, because for the last 5 albums, the very first song has been Your Beautiful Day, Vertigo, that Joey Ramone thingy, which is all the big bombastic stuff.
I know.
And then this one starts in this pseudo Bon Iver kind of thing, which caught me off guard.
I really liked it.
I don't know if I like
Why?
that. So here's the thing. So I haven't heard it enough to tell you if I really like the song, but I like that they're just mixing things up.
Exactly.
And not sticking to formula. Because the thing is, the second, third, and fourth song are
the
quote-unquote
typical,
Vertigo, Beautiful Day, blah, blah, blah.
Pretty much.
Which are fine, cookie cutter, whatever. And they're perfectly good songs.
They also close it out on a quieter note, which I liked.
Exactly.
And I really liked the first song as well, just from a song perspective.
Sure.
Even if it was somewhere else in the running order, I still like it. Love is all we have left.
Also, what I really love is these moments when I can't tell if it's Bono or The Edge singing. So when that song begins, every time I'm like, I think this is Edge. And then it always catches me off guard, which is really cool, because there aren't many bands that have that, where there are two singers that are very interchangeable vocally, which is great.
In falsetto.
Because then when they're harmonizing, it's perfect.
Exactly. Anyway, so the first movie we're going to talk about that features ghosts, I'm going to nominate... Do you have one?
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple.
I have a couple.
Okay, wait. You want to knock off an obvious one?
Sure.
Sixth Sense. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
What?
Why would I need to see it? Because it got spoiled for me years and decades ago. And
before you watched it?
Yeah, before I watched it. And I was the worst.
That's a shame, because that's one of... Yeah.
When it came out in theaters, what year was that? 90-something? Late 90s?
Late
Early
90s.
2000s? 96? And... Yes, I would have been 7 years old. No way in hell was I going to go see Sixth Sense in theaters. And so by the time I was old enough to say, okay, maybe I'll give this a shot, the whole world, even pre-internet, knew the twist.
That's true.
Actually, I might have seen little bits of it on TV, and this is back like when like it was just like watching Star movies randomly, and like you happen to watch random bits of random movies that you hadn't seen before. So I saw bits of it. I have vague recollection of it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. But then the whole time I'm like, I know exactly what's going to happen. So like it just became really dull and boring. I might watch it one day eventually if I'm really bored and want to see like what all the hype was all about. But yeah.
But it's a good movie though. I think it's definitely worth watching once at least after you've... Oh, I don't know actually. I saw it on TV with no idea about the spoiler, which by the way, spoiler alert for a decades-old movie.
Beethoven's Tits.
1999.
99.
It's a 99 movie.
So it would have been, it would have been 10. 9 or 10.
Yeah, so
Still,
I think I just
too
caught
much
it
of a wuss.
on the theater, not on the theater, sorry, on the TV once randomly, and I was like, oh, cool, and I watched it, and I didn't see it coming at all, because it's a very well-hidden twist, so I think it's worth watching because it's still a good movie.
Is it, so tell me, is it like literally the last thing that happens?
No, it's not like The Usual Suspects.
Oh.
But it's like...
Because that would have made me happy. I was like, great.
I feel like, it's pretty much...
I don't know 99% of this movie. That would be amazing.
It's pretty much one of the last few scenes, because after that, there's not a lot to the movie.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, he was a ghost the whole time. Credits.
Shucks.
Yeah. So, that's a movie featuring a ghost. Give us one of yours.
Paranormal Activity. I
I
brought this
see.
up. I brought this up in the last thingy as well.
When you
So-
spoke of horror.
When you spoke of horror, it's not particularly sci-fi,
No.
but I mean it's ghosty, more ghosty than sci-fi. It was really cool when it came out at the time because it was like brand new idea of storytelling.
You know what? Okay, no, carry on. But I take issue with that. I feel like
Okay.
Paranormal Activity was pretty much just a tweak of the Blair Witch Project.
Exactly, I was just gonna say, yeah, it was a tweak of the Blair Witch Project, but a good tweak. Because the thing is that the found footage thing is very hit or miss. It's a very fine line, right? Because it can induce nausea.
Yeah.
It can get old very quickly if enough doesn't happen soon enough. Like I had that problem with Cloverfield as well. I like Cloverfield, but I kind of wish it wasn't the whole way through as found footage. I was just like, the gimmick isn't strong enough.
Maybe you like Paranormal Activity because unlike most found footage movies, the camera is pretty much stationary.
Well, no, I like it because it moves. Because in the first
Does
one,
it? I feel like
see,
it was
the thing
all,
is,
they come and they put a camera on the table
exactly.
and then the scene
That's
plays
what I
out.
mean. So that's what I mean. So like the thing is, what I liked about it was that the camera moves in that there is a very perfectly reasonable explanation for the camera being there to begin with, and for it showing us what it's showing us and the way it's being portrayed. So I found the first one really good. I would give it a solid B.
I would also give it a solid B. It's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
But it's not particularly... I didn't find it as...
It's not groundbreaking, or
Yeah.
anything, but I was like, this is cool. I was like, I haven't genuinely been hyped by anything in that genre in a long time.
In
'Cause I mean-
horror, you mean?
Yeah, because I mean, like, I just don't consume it. And like at the time, whenever it came out, in like the mid 2000s, right? It was such a big fanfare about it. I was like, all right, let me give this a shot. I didn't see it in theaters, I don't think. I would remember if I did. Yeah. But no,
yeah.
I got on the hype train.
But it's not a theater movie. It's a download and watch it once.
So here's
movie.
the thing. My other choices are activities 2 through 6. Because it is hilarious how bad they get.
Really?
Like, it is one of my most favorite guilty pleasure watches. Because the first one is genuinely scary in little bits. The second one...
The first one is Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, Activity 1 is genuinely scary in bits. Because if you watch it fresh and you haven't seen or don't know what the deal is with that movie, I think that it has a couple of good moments in it. And the story is pretty
Tell me one
straight.
thing.
Yeah.
We're sure it's a ghost in Paranormal Activity?
That's the thing.
It's a haunted house. It's a creepy house.
It's... so remember I said grandmas?
Yeah?
So here's how it gets weird.
Right.
Which is why the first one is cool, because it doesn't give you much explanation, which is what I think horror is all about.
Yeah.
Right? Suspense is what kills you as opposed to the actual monster.
Yeah, the actual monster is often anticlimactic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
like when I saw the Babadook, throughout the movie I was like, this is super creepy. And then at the end I was like, this guy? Shut up.
Exactly. That's the problem with most of these movies, right? Same thing with Blair Witch. Have you seen Blair Witch?
Yeah.
So like...
But I thought The end of Blair Witch is great.
It's amazing,
Yeah.
but the thing is, you don't see Jack. They don't
You don't
tell
see
you
nothing.
which is why it's still scary because you don't have an answer. Now they're doing a remake and stuff, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'll watch it out of
They did
curiosity.
several random
Yeah,
sequels.
exactly.
Yeah.
But the great thing about that movie was the suspense of not knowing. And in Paranormal Activity 1, you see things like footprints on the floor. You see people being dragged into the shadows. You hear noises.
Right.
You don't actually see a person until the very end when, Mother Lovers Be getting cut up and stuff. And it's like, how did that happen? And then it just cuts to black. And it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And it just went all hilariously downhill from there.
Okay.
Because the second one onwards, they were like, okay, so here's how it all happens, guys. Let me tell you what it's all about. And to cut a very complicated story short, it's basically the story of a family over generations.
The same couple from the first one?
Yeah. So it's that couple, I think the wife,
Mr. and Mrs. Paranormal.
Mr. and Mrs. Paranormal, Mrs. Paranormal's, her blood lineage,
Okay.
right? So her parents, her sister, daughters, etc.,
Yeah.
are all direct descendants from a cult of witches. So the only other scare after the very first movie that genuinely made me go, oh crap, was, I want to say, in 3, which ends with, all right, here's the deal. Here's how it goes. Number 3 ends with, we're in different houses every time. Each movie is a different family, which you think is not connected, but then eventually you'll find out, oh, this guy is the second twin cousin of movie number 1 wife. Something like that. Exactly, it's that random. It's a Sas Bahu thing. It's just, it's insane. But the third one ends with the neighbor's house being the creepy ones, right? And so the whole thing is from the perspective of one house who's like weirded out by the neighbors, but they know each other and the kids play together. Some nonsense.
This is going from like
I know.
creepy horror movie to like some society drama.
Exactly. But so it ends with one of the people taking the camera and freaking out in the middle of the night after like day 17 or whatever of the thing, and takes the camera, runs out in the middle of the night, goes to the neighbor's house trying to find one of the kids. It was a pair of kids. One kid was possessed, one kid was not, or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and these are babies, like toddlers, or just a little older, 3 years, 4 years old.
Right.
And so one of the kids go missing, and so mom's like, oh my god, where are you at? And takes the camera and like runs to the neighbor's house thinking maybe he's at the neighbor's house. Lights are off, again, creepy mansion. Nobody's there, nobody's home, checks around, looks in the shadows, and again has that flashlight looking at stuff, like what's where. Things are moving, don't know what's up. Goes outside. It is an army of undead grandmas.
What?
Genuinely an army. Like, in the hundreds. Somehow their backyard is as big as like the fight scene in Lord of the Rings, and it's just grandmas wearing like that photo of like, I forget, it's a very classic American painting of the old couple standing next to each other holding pitchforks.
American Gothic.
That's the one. It's exactly that, but undead grandmas wearing those clothes and just going, "Bleh," and you're like, oh crap, movie's over.
That sounds... that's where it ends.
That's where it ends.
Oh my god.
So you gotta keep watching. So I did. And now we're at the point where like the last movie, I think 6 it was somewhere in Los Angeles. And it's like, we gotta be, diverse guys. And so it's like it's a Latino family. And they're living in the projects kind of a thing. And so it's like, it's a bunch of families living in close proximity. Somehow, blah, blah, blah. The neighbor living downstairs is a witch. And the kid living upstairs is convinced that she's a witch and he's going to find out. So he enlists the help of his skater friend who has a GoPro, and they do like stupid MTV Jackass things, and that annoys the witch lady. Then the witch lady becomes pregnant somehow out of the blue, gives birth to a demon. Things go wrong. Some like gangsters show up. They have AK-47s and shotguns.
I cannot tell if this is the actual plot for the movie or you're just saying whatever comes into your mind.
I know! Exactly! It's so
Why
good.
are there 6 of these?
It's so good.
Oh my god.
Dude, I watched
this
it in
is
theaters
the
and I was
opposite
laughing
of
my
a
ass
pitch.
off.
You're actively de-pitching
I'm
this
telling
movie.
you, dude, when I saw this, I saw the 6th one in theaters with a bunch of my friends, and we got the
Oh, they're
best
not
seats.
your friends. If they were your friends, they would have stopped
We
you.
got the best seats in the house. We snuck in some flasks and shit, and we laughed our asses off. We were those guys in the theater. There was like one couple, like a couple of seats behind us that were like squirming, and we were just like, I'm sorry, we're just going to ruin this for you because like I know you're scared, but you're not going to be scared when you just hear us.
Do you
like,
think that was the couple from the first movie who went like, hey, what happened after that?
Well, the 5th movie ends with the 5th movie takes place like 50 years prior, and it ends with the dude getting chased around by grandmas from circa movie number 3.
The same grandmas, they come
Same-
back.
The cult of, it's all about the cult of grandmas. And like, so like the neighbor living downstairs in movie number 6 is becoming one of the grandmas. But the thing is, this is all over the country.
happening?
Look, it's the family that lives in the entire, that like the whole lineage is spread across the country, right? So it's like different cities all over the place. And so like the gimmicks are amazing because the first movie is the one you know of. The second movie is VHS tapes. And so like there's a dude who is the father of of the wife in the first movie, and he's like a filmmaker, so he's got his garage full of VHS tapes. And the gimmick in that movie is that he puts the camera on a
Okay.
rotating fan.
Jishnu.
And then the third movie is the Xbox Connect.
Jishnu.
Dude, no,
Wait,
no,
what?
wait, exactly. Wait,
Hold
it's
on.
so good.
I'm back in. What?
So the third movie is literally the same thing as it always is, static camera, right? Second movie is a rotating camera, like it moves, pivots left and right because it's on a fan.
Okay.
So he's trying to be smart. I'll cover more ground.
Yes.
Third movie is infrared. So what the guy does is he puts the infrared sensor on and then turns on the Xbox Connect. And so you see all the motion tracking dots show up. So it's like a room is filled with like green dots. And then you see inside the green dots, you see ghosts moving around. Like, whoa, what is that? Where is that? Because you can't see it, but the infrared can.
The
Fourth
entire
movie.
movie is like this?
Yes. And fourth movie. It's a bunch of like
It's like
teenagers.
they took an
It's on
Andy
Skype.
Serkis thing and took the CGI away.
The fourth movie's on Skype. The fifth
Oh, of
movie's on
course.
GoPros. It's beautifully bad. It
Oh
is
my God.
spectacular.
Can I say this, Jishnu? I invited you here as a privileged guest so we could talk about movies featuring ghosts on the Geek Fruit podcast.
Yes.
And yet, for 2 segments now, you've talked about the U2 album, which is Lincoln's Ghost, and then proceeded to describe in excruciating detail all of the Paranormal Activity movies.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say spoiler alert. Is that the problem?
No, yeah, I think that
Oh.
was the main problem.
Beethoven's
Anyway,
Stits, guys. Beethoven's Stits.
I'm glad to have you here. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, I promise you, we will talk about movies with ghosts in them.
There were ghosts all over the place in this one.
Shut up, Vishnu. See you after the break.
Hi, I'm May, and I'm a huge fan of the indie music scene in our country. A scene that's relatively underground, even though it sometimes speaks its head overground. But there's no shortage of talent, and I get the privilege of interviewing some of the most awesome musicians on my show. I've had the likes of Euphoria, Krish Kale, Hardcore, Randolph Correa. I've had singer-songwriters, folk singers, electronic music producers, playback singers, rappers, fusion artists, instrumentalists, classical musicians, and so on. Whether mainstream or not, these people have chosen to release their original music, and these are the people currently shaping the direction in which our music scene is heading. Join me on my show every Monday and tune in to discover the unique talent coming out of India today. You can catch Made in India on your favorite podcasting app or our very own IVM podcast app.
Welcome back to the Geek Fruit podcast. We are talking about, or we're attempting to talk about, ghosts in feature films. Now, because we've squandered 2 segments on nothing, Jishnu, let's do bullet points. Give me a ghost movie that's
What?
not any of the Paranormal Activities.
Fine.
Let's talk about one of your funny or fun ghosts.
Yeah, The Busters.
The Busters, of
Yeah.
course. One of the best movies of all time. Is this true?
Absolutely.
Did you ever see the remake?
Yeah, of course.
I have not yet. How is
What?
it? No.
I'm torn.
Yeah?
It's a good movie.
It's
I
a
think
great cast. I think
Yeah, absolutely.
if anybody could carry on the legacy of the original 3 or the original 4,
So
it's these.
That's my gripe with it. I think that's what a lot of people's gripe with it is that I think it's a genuinely solid movie in that it's
Is it pretty
entertaining.
much the exact same as the first one, plot-wise?
No.
No?
It's charmingly different. They
Okay.
tried. I'll give them all credit for like trying to be a little bit smarter than the average bear, basically. But the thing is, it is, it's meant to be a legacy continuation, right? So it's meant to be The Force Awakens. And
Oh, is it? It's not a reboot.
because the pre-existing Ghostbusters, like the cameo in it and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't know all
It's
this.
a
I thought it was a remake of the first movie.
not a blow-by-blow remake. I mean, it's kind of...
It's The Force Awakens.
Yeah, it's you know how Force Awakens was a
Awakens
remake
is
of A New
to
Hope?
A New Hope, yes.
Exactly. It's think of it that way.
Right.
And the problem is, I think it's a good movie, but that burden was way too big for them to take on. I think
Yeah.
Force Awakens handled it really well, and I'm very happy with Force Awakens, but this one didn't land quite as well. I can't say it's a bad film. Like, I had a fun time watching it, but it's just the fact that, like, I know it's a Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah.
And I'm meant to think of it constantly as a Ghostbusters movie. I was like, well, you guys are funny, but you're not the Ghostbusters.
I think there was a long rumored Ghostbusters sequel that was to happen, right? Before Harold Ramis passed. There was always talk of doing the third Ghostbusters.
Right.
Which I think, even Ghostbusters 2 was okay.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. It was, the part of the fun of the first one was the surprise of it all.
Yeah,
like, you didn't, at least I didn't watch it expecting it to be that hilarious.
Right.
And since then, I've been like a lifelong fan of Bill Murray, for starters, which anybody who ever sees him is. Anyway. But yeah, like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man turning up at the end is who would think of that?
Yeah.
But when it happens now, you're like, I kind of know the beats you're going for.
Yeah.
So I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's a movie that definitely fell into sequelitis.
Yeah.
And the problem is, like, I was surprised because I remember being very excited for, like, the first, third or first half of the movie because the cast is amazing as they are. It was, I guess, a writing and execution problem because I even, like, they added on, what's his name? Peter McNichol, I think? Mm-hmm. The guy who gets possessed.
He's Mr. Bean's friend.
Yes, I'm so glad you know that.
Yeah.
I love him, especially in that movie.
Of course.
I've seen that a billion times.
His best performance.
Absolutely.
He's also great in Veep right now, by the way, where he plays like the most foul-mouthed person I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He needs his comeuppance. That man is amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I love him, and I was like, oh my god, you're in this movie. This is so good. And it was just,
Yeah?
And like, he did a fine job. That's the weird thing about that movie. I think it's a very good example of sequelitis in that, yep, you've got everything. It's like the cast deliver what you expect them to deliver, but it just kind of feels meh.
Yeah.
I mean, meh is a strong word.
Yeah, it's
But,
okay. I know exactly
yeah.
what you mean, though. Let me give you an example of a movie where everyone delivers and it adds up to more than the sum of its parts. This is my version of a segue. But I think you'll enjoy this particularly because I found some stuff out about it that I did not know earlier. Have you seen What Lies Beneath?
I have not.
The Robert Zemeckis film?
Right.
Robert Zemeckis horror film.
Right.
With Michelle Pfeiffer as the lady who lies beneath. No, it's not. That's not true. What Lies Beneath is like... So it starts out as this like Hitchcockian kind of thing. It's got Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford, I want to say. Yeah, Harrison Ford.
Okay.
And it's written by Clark Gregg.
What?
Yeah. I didn't know this either until I just looked up the movie on Wikipedia today.
Seriously?
Agent Coulson wrote
The Clark
this.
Gregg?
The Clark Gregg. I literally clicked through to see, is this the same Clark Gregg? It was.
Oh my god.
So apparently it was a treatment written by some lady who had, who was a writer of some sort, who had an experience that is kind of the basis of the movie. And Clark Gregg did a complete rewrite of it.
Whoa.
I know. And he was so busy during production that he turned down a role in Aaron Sorkin's first TV series, Sports Night, to work on this movie or something like that.
When did this come out?
I feel like it was in the early 2000s.
Damn.
2001. 2000. Naveen is telling us it came out in 2000. That's correct. Because Zemeckis took time out of Castaway to do this. No. Wait, what? Was Zemeckis involved in Castaway at all? Because I also read that in the Wikipedia. He wasn't. Okay.
How fast can your fingers type?
I mean, he's friends with Spielberg, so maybe they'll hang out.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, What Lies Beneath is it's a pretty good, tight... Wait, Robert Zemeckis directed Castaway?
Yeah.
It's not a
There you go.
Spielberg movie?
No, yeah, it was. I definitely never thought of it as a Spielberg movie.
I could have sworn it was a Spielberg movie.
It doesn't move as much as a Spielberg movie.
Maybe. It
There
felt
aren't
like a
enough. There aren't
classic-
enough like one shots.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
None. Okay, that's odd. Well,
Anyway.
everything is a one shot because there's only Tom Hanks in it.
Uh-huh.
Well, except for Wilson sometimes. Anyway, yes. So, in that... Well, the Wikipedia article I read makes a lot more sense now. In the break where Tom Hanks put on weight and grew a beard, they quickly went and made What Lies Beneath. It's a very simple, tight movie.
Okay.
You've seen Rear Window, the Hitchcock movie?
Nope.
Okay. Well, this is going to be hard to explain then. But it starts out a lot like that. These guys play an old married couple
Okay.
who their kids are off to college, so they're just like living in a cottage-ish thing by themselves. And Michelle Pfeiffer is just kind of like she's a bit of a peeping Tomish person. She's observing the neighbors, and she's convinced that the wife of their neighbors has been murdered because she hasn't seen her for a couple of days. That's how it starts out. But, so it goes, that's how Rear Window also starts out. But it goes into a more metaphysical kind of zone when Michelle Pfeiffer starts trying to contact the spirit of this lady. But then the actual lady just turns up and goes like, oh, I wasn't dead. I was just fighting with my husband. So I went home for a few weeks. And the lady's like, okay, if you're not the ghost, then who's the ghost who just responded to me? So it turns out there's another ghost. And it gets a little more complicated after that. But it's a good movie, is what I want to say. Featuring a ghost.
Sounds fun. Not enough grandmas, though.
Not enough not enough grandmas. There is murder, I want to say. If you're interested in that.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's always fun. I like murder.
I enjoy this movie because it's a surprisingly good horror-ish movie from Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah, would not have.
Who would have thought?
I didn't know that he did a horror thing.
Exactly. And like he does a solid job. So it's very Hitchcockian, except it just involves ghosts.
Sure.
Which is why I like it. It's like a thriller more than anything else. Because a lot of the movies, Michelle Pfeiffer just trying to piece together who is this ghost who's talking to me and why is she talking to me in particular.
Right.
Yeah. So it's an interesting movie and it's fun because I think I went in with zero like it's one of those movies that you just see on TV. I saw it and I was like, not bad. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Give us one of your ghosts.
I'll give you one that I also just crept up on me because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Shutter Island. You seen that?
Yes.
Leo DiCaprio.
Explain yourself.
Yeah. So that's not a ghost.
Yeah, there's no ghost.
There's no ghost, right?
Yeah.
But it's...
Unless you count Ben Kingsley as a ghost.
So that's the thing. It's like I guess I got intrigued because the thing about a ghost is that there's always like something lying underneath, right?
Yeah.
That you
like
want to
that
figure
movie,
out.
What
like
Lies
that movie.
Beneath?
Yeah. So I think using a ghost as a plot device is usually pretty good because you can get away with literally bloody murder and do whatever you want and be like, whoa, it's a ghost. This makes no sense. And then it's one of the most reliable ways, I think, to just keep the audience going. Because you can just like, and then this happened. You're like, wait, what? Why? Because. Like, oh crap, I need to find out what that because is.
A ghost is like an easy shortcut to suspending your disbelief. Yeah,
exactly.
I agree with all of this, but explain to me how Shutter Island is a ghost movie.
Because it feels like one, but it's not one. That's what I mean, right? So like the whole thing, like, see, one reason why it doesn't have any rewatch value for me is because I hate the ending of like the equivalent of it was all just a dream, haha.
It's not though.
I know it's not a dream, but like it's the equivalent of that. It's just like, oh, it was actually. Oh well, I don't want to ruin it. It's a good. I think it's a really good watch.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin the ending, but it's got that kind of ending.
It does.
Of just like, actually, haha, JK. It was like,
Kind
what?
of.
So.
But it's not JK at all.
It's not JKing at all, but it gives you that feeling of like, oh, well, okay.
So you're saying the ghost is a mental ghost?
Yeah. I mean, the ghost is just like, it's something you don't see. It's something that is inexplicable until the end, and then it's never a satisfying ending.
I'll let this go, but I don't think Shutter Island qualifies as a ghost movie.
Fine.
So you're on notice.
Be that way.
Okay. What about, do you know any friendly ghosts?
So we talked about what year did this come out?
96.
Really?
Yeah.
And who did the voice?
Some dude, I don't know.
Aha, okay. Yeah, because you thought it was...
I thought it was Macaulay Culkin, but it wasn't. No.
Yeah, I thought it was Haley Joel.
We're talking about Casper.
Yes.
And it couldn't have been Haley Joel, because Haley Joel was too young, honestly.
Really? Isn't he like...
Do you remember much of Casper the movie?
A little bit.
I remember Casper being like weirdly blobby, like he was round.
He looked like he ate some ghosts. Yeah.
Like his uncles, the disgusting ones.
Very scary. Did you see the cartoon?
Yeah, of
on
course.
Cartoon Network?
Yeah,
that was fun.
Which came first, the cartoon or the movie?
I think
the cartoon.
The cartoon? Oh, okay.
Naveen says the cartoon. I trust him.
All right then.
What are the uncles called? They had dwarf-like names, like Sleepy, Smelly.
Were the uncles in the movie or on the cartoon?
In both.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't remember the uncles in the cartoon. I mean, in the movie.
Really? I feel like they were there.
Sleepy, scary.
Fatso, Stinky, and Stretch.
They were in the movie?
Yeah.
Well then.
So
learn something new every day.
You remember the premise of the movie?
I'm gonna... Okay.
Because that's all I remember.
I'm gonna take a stab at it.
Yeah, do it.
And you tell me where I'm going wrong.
Yeah.
They moved... It was Bill Pullman and Christina Ricci, single parent.
Mm-hmm.
They're moving, for some odd reason, to, where was it? Maine.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Maine, middle of nowhere, creepy ass mansion. Why is it a creepy mansion?
Because a ghost lives there.
No, but I mean, why did they move to that mansion? It's a bizarre
that's
place
the
to move.
thing. Casper sees young Christina Ricci on TV or something like that, and he falls in love with her. So he does, I think he convinces someone, or he pulls a spell or something like that, and convinces the family to move.
What?
Yeah. Casper was a predator.
Excuse me?
This is apparently the truth.
Really?
Yeah.
He was just casually flipping through channels, and why is Christina Ricci? She's like,
I think
she's
her
like a kid.
dad. I mean, I might be making up half of this, but the gist of it is.
No, I like your version.
Yeah.
Go on.
I think her dad is a famous psychiatrist, and they're on TV giving an interview or something like that. So
I thought it was like a family thing or like money.
You
they
realize
had
how
to-
weird this story is? No, he's not Richie Rich, though he has a very similar design.
He does.
Big round faces.
Seriously.
Yeah. So Casper.
The cartoon especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically we're saying, it's a tragic story because Casper was killed as a 13-year-old boy or whatever.
Yeah.
Or he died somehow. Already sad.
Yeah.
And also he lures women into his house.
So he died a virgin, and it was just like, dude, I need to, man's gotta do.
Man's gotta do.
Man's gotta take a break. Should we take a break?
Yeah.
Or should we
Well-
just close this mother up?
Okay, let's just close this mother up. Because we've destroyed
Oh man.
a childhood touchstone of ours, which I think is a great note to end an episode
No, but I
on.
mean we didn't talk about the last 4 songs on the album.
That's true.
What do you think?
I'm going to give you some movies which I wanted to talk about, but I could not because of your incessant talk of you two, which, to be fair, I participated a whole lot in. Sleepy Hollow by Tim Burton. Good movie. Another good ghost movie by Tim Burton. Beetlejuice, or Beetlejuice, as it's written.
Wait, did you also just Google movies with ghosts in them?
No.
Okay, because I did, and these are you mentioned the first out of order the first 10 that popped up, which is
Yeah?
cool, which makes sense because these are good movies with ghosts in
They're
them.
the only good movies with ghosts in
There
them.
aren't
I
that
wanna say.
many. There aren't that many.
I'll tell you why I like Sleepy. I mean, Beetlejuice is fine. It stars everyone's favorite Batman, of course. I'll tell you why I like Sleepy Hollow. I think it was the last great performance Johnny Depp gave. I haven't seen good stuff after that. I mean,
Hey, I like
unless
Pirates 1.
yeah, actually, okay. Pirates 1 is
It
solid,
was solid.
but Pirates 1 was the beginning of the end because
Yeah, of
since
course.
then he's been a character.
Yeah, that is
If you
very
see, have you seen Ed Wood?
Nope.
Okay, so that's part of Johnny Depp and Tim Burton's great period.
Sure.
Since then, Tim Burton hasn't made a great movie either.
I know.
If you ask me.
Yeah.
He's off his game.
Yeah, he's off. Well, that Miss Peregrine thingy.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
Who did I see that? Oh, I saw with
With
Tejas.
Tejas.
That was
Your other friend.
that was all right. Your point stands.
Okay.
He hasn't made anything.
How
in a
about
while.
how about this one? Ghost Rider.
He is excellent on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Is he a ghost? He's not a ghost, right?
Season 5 just started. It was a 2-hour premiere. Far better
Yeah.
than Inhumans.
Oh,
And
no.
I'm happy to say they are very much in space. They're
I
doing
realize
quite well.
I've opened the gate to Jishnu talking
Clark-
about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Clark Gregg is
So while
the
he drones
most-
on,
the badass.
Let me just
So,
say,
look
you
at the-
can reach
consider
us
the fact
on contactgeekfruit@gmail.com.
He's already died once.
You can talk to us on Twitter,
I won't tell
Facebook,
you
and
how he comes
Instagram
back
at
to life.
GeekFruitHQ.
But
My handle is at Dinkstings.
it's very plausible.
Jishnu's handle is at Jishnu Guha.
all the
if
ways
you're
a guy
the
can
only
come
other
back to
person
life.
on earth who watches Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
it's pretty good.
We will see you next week with a brand new episode.
The messing
Jishnu
with
will
time.
be in the studio still talking
Even
about
though
Agents of
Doctor
S.H.I.E.L.D. to the
Strange
walls.
has the time
So until
gem,
next time,
the Infinity Stone,
goodbye,
sorry.
you nerds.
He is a pretty cool guy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts.
to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.